Hi, ho, everyone. My name is Mr. Fruit, and welcome to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 1249.
249, we believe.
Imagine we're still in the 100s.
Well, imagine
it's been a
we
while.
are at 1249, though. Oh, my God.
Jesus. Not quite. But today we talk about a couple of Mr. Fruit movie reviews, specifically Gladiator 2 and Venom, real surface level, no spoilers. Rob's house almost burns down. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
that's like
not clickbait.
Not clickbait. Like actual, like not clickbait.
We talk about our Thanksgiving, the Game Awards, some of the drama with some nominations,
the controversy of nominations, and the controversy of dreams.
Yeah. You guys get a sound off because we're interested on your input. Rob ends up liking some indie games he didn't think he would. We didn't talk about it, but Godzilla can wear Jordans and Gritty in Fortnite now. We live in a wild timeline. And we do some Q&A, that and much more. So stay tuned.
As you guys know, I'm trying to quit one of my really bad habits. I'm pretty vocal about it, and I'm really excited to have Fume to help me along my journey. Fume is part of the flavored air category that is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking. It's the whole new movement towards better habits, led by today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. Flavored air isn't like vaping. If vapor was compared to a sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. I'm trying to quit my bad habit, and I got my Fume right here next to me, alongside their delicious flavors like cinnamon hearts, crisp mint, and orange vanilla. Personally, I'm starting to come around to the cinnamon hearts core. It has a nice little kick to it. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be the next success story. For a limited time, use our code at GG to get a free gift with your journey pack. Head to tryfume.com, that's tryfum.com, and using the code GG. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this podcast. This episode of the GG Over Easy podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we are trying our best to make sense of everything in this crazy world, and that's not easy. We've been given a lot of thanks lately, but more importantly, maybe we should just start giving thanks to ourselves. BetterHelp is here to remind you that you are worth working on. BetterHelp showed me all the best habits that I could possibly do to give myself the best chance of being the best version of myself every day. And even though I don't achieve that every day, I know when I do achieve my best version of myself, I know I followed all those guidelines. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/GG today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GG. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast episode. This one
69.
I think we're at 249. I think we're one away from 250, which I think 250 is a big milestone. I would say 250 is probably the next big milestone that we have. So give it up for ourselves. Come that time.
My model can't clap, but imagine me clapping.
I mean, that'll put us to what, 5 years?
Something
Holy shit. What's so crazy to me is that we started this as a hybrid in person, and then me, on the Zoom call. We never actually used it. Oh, that's right. I was there for Fruit Summit. Yeah. I keep forgetting. And then the world exploded, and we've just been doing it,
Well, and then also it was easier too at the time. Rob lived.
Yeah, I lived like
10 minutes away.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway,
could you even imagine making that setting that setup back up, like the mics and all that?
It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun.
It definitely wasn't.
I don't know. It's kind of it's weird. Like, in my opinion, I think the internet just made us too woke. You know what I mean?
Dude, like, somebody had to say it. Thank you.
Like, the internet made us too woke. Rob got married and is like, guys, Black Lives Matter and gay rights. And then Mr. Fruit is like, the same thing, but like all the time anyway.
And now Blue's just gay.
And now Blue's just gay, but also straight.
Something out the water. The gay woke frog water. Or whatever.
I am straight, but I'm also gay. But like, it's just, like the internet just made us woke. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fun. I did see a comment in yesterday's thing. Like, is this how I found out Blue's gay? And some guy's like, do you not listen to podcasts? He's like, I don't know. I just kind of jump around. But there you go. Big reveal.
Yeah, big
Boom.
reveal. There you go.
Guys, I have a boyfriend. I don't know how to tell you this. I'm so sorry. I had so many people. I don't know how to take it
Heartbreaking.
when so many people are like, blue is too
Well,
base to
judging,
be.
you have a boyfriend, so I think you do know how to take it.
I'm a top, Mr. Fruit. I'm sorry. I can't relate to that. Just like you.
Sorry.
You know?
Sorry.
Shouldn't be laughing that hard to that.
Yeah, my bad.
But I laughed pretty hard.
Sorry.
But I brought it back.
It's
Sorry.
the woke thing in me. I'm sorry.
So he's counteracting the woke. I
would say that was anti-woke.
I don't know how to.
Yeah,
Okay, but
whoa.
truly, what the hell? Truly, I don't know how to take it. Well, I don't know how to take it anyways, but I still don't know how to take it when people are like, "Ha, I knew it. Blue was too base to be straight," and I was like, "What? What is it?" I was like, "I don't think that solves anything." When you're like, "Yeah, straight people are all stupid," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, to a degree, but also like, you know,
Yeah, but like also, like, hold on a minute. What do you mean by
hold
that?
on, wait a minute, whoa,
Where's this coming from?
Calm down."
Kind of reminds me. Just recently, Jacksepticeye tweeted that he got diagnosed with autism, and the comments were just so funny because it's just like literally everyone but you already knew this, or like we've been trying to tell you.
Pretends to be shocked, like the meme.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm also going down that road because my old therapist was like, "You should get checked for autism," and I was like, "What does that mean?" They're like, "I don't know. You just have like some signs of it," and I was like, "Okay, crazy lady, whatever."
You know, here's my thing. Why do you need to get a doctor to tell you something you know you already have?
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know it.
Yeah, and I think I've talked about this too. It's just like anything, even if you don't get medicated for it, knowing something that's wrong with you, having an answer makes it a lot easier to live with.
There is like a soothing to that, I guess.
Well, not just that. Like, let's say you do, and then suddenly,
I mean, I do.
You realize, like, oh, this is why I'm having trouble because of this, and now I know why, and so now I can potentially try to work around it, knowing why it's happening, rather than
Please be
fighting
patient
my
with
brain.
me. I have dyslexia, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Please be patient with me, Rob. I have dicklexia. Am I right, boys?
Dap him up.
Dap me up.
Right.
Napped up.
Speaking of dicklexia,
okay.
I just saw Gladiator 2, a bunch of dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I was actually gonna ask about this because my dad was a massive Gladiator 1 stan. That dude.
Okay.
You know how your parents, I'm sure one of you guys can relate to this, like one of your dads would just like, there's always at some point, then their day off, they're playing some shit, some macho shit like Gladiator and or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and or some war movie.
And
just
they're
like
standing watching it.
Yep. Just some random Sunday. Just
sitting.
Yep. And
funnily enough, I can't relate.
Really? I would expect your dad to.
The funny thing is,
I'll tell you why, because my dad never stopped working, and
that's true. That's
grew
that's
up
fair.
seeing what an unhealthy work ethic looks like, and now I too suffer.
The first DVD my dad ever bought was Gladiator.
Yep.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
the only problem was, I think might have told the story before. We didn't know how to press the play button, so all it was, I'll never forget it. Like we put it in the disc, and it was just the menu. We didn't know how to like get past the menu, so we just gave up.
With music just playing over and over.
And my dad had spent so much money on that like DVD player, because that was like DVDs were just like brand new then. Like,
so. Yeah, I imagine VHS is probably sold more then. That was 2001.
Did you enjoy it? Like, what is the?
I did.
Mr. Fruit meter.
I don't think it's quite Gladiator 1, but that's a lot to live up to. However, if you did enjoy Gladiator 1, I don't see why you would enjoy Gladiator 2. Also, Denzel, I think, performs his heart out. I think he sort of carries a lot of it. He plays really well. All the characters, it's sort of possibly a strength, but also weakness. It's mirrored in a lot of ways to Gladiator 1. Because it does continue the story, and again, this is all spoiler free. But it's a continuation, because if you didn't know, the movie is based off of his son, and then it's like fast forwarded
Russell Crowe
years or whatever. Yeah, and it's fast forward like 20 years. So that's all I need to know. But so like, I'd watch Gladiator 1 if you haven't seen it. You don't need to see it. You could probably still understand most of it. But it would obviously help. But I think it's pretty solid. Good spectacle, good fights. And
was it long as hell?
Can't remember.
I feel like movies these days are getting too long. I'm getting kind of over it.
I mean, you can't really
Some
have
of them
that.
are.
You can't really have that criticism of Gladiator 1. I don't think you remember how long that movie was.
Well, I mean, it's like Wicked. So I haven't seen Wicked yet. But it's getting rave reviews. But
Yet?
that movie's like
What do you
2
mean
hours and
yet?
50 minutes or something.
What do you mean yet? You're gonna go see it?
Oh,
Claire wants to
also,
go see it, and she never wants to go see a movie.
and also, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes, and that's just part 1.
Wait, what?
Of Wicked?
I don't think they're making another Wicked, but from what I understood, that's just like the first act of the first half of the full play.
Oh, of what it's like based off, whatever.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I don't
that's
think they're doing.
So we're in a
full...
brief intermission right now after you go and see it
Yeah.
for 20. What?
Well, that was one of the bits on Twitter. Some dude was like, man, look at these idiots leaving after the intermission. And I was like, what the fuck does he mean by that?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's just the
It's only
first
short couple years.
That's just the first half of the original play. I get it. Wow, musicals are cringe.
I
That's
have
pretty
no
true.
desire.
I mean, I'm gonna go see it because Claire never wants to go. So whenever she wants to go see a movie, I'm like, I bet. And I'm not a musical fan. However, she even showed me a lot of people hesitant went into it like, I don't like this, but so and so wants to see it, and then they came out and they're like, that was amazing. So
It has
Yeah.
to live up to
You'll
like
have
being
my-
as good as Grease, like to be like okay music wise for me.
Well,
like,
I
if it's a
think-
musical.
It's kind of interesting because Wicked is like one of the Wicked's like that perfect storm. I only know Wicked because of like that movie poster or the play poster,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
like just like deeply one of the most iconic.
Ingrained, bro.
Yeah,
It
one of
is.
the most iconic pop culture, images we've seen. I mean, of the 2000s. Holy shit, you couldn't escape that poster. It's interesting because Wicked is like that movie that like got like this generation into plays. So many
Didn't get
people.
me, though.
It got a lot of people, and
missed me.
musicals in general are still very niche for. I guess they're not really niche, but they're definitely
I don't
not for
think-
everyone.
But like, yeah, I don't think they're
But I think Wicked.
broadly.
But I think.
But I don't know.
But as far as like Broadway and shit go, I think Wicked had like that crossover that not a lot of musicals have. Of like
It's true.
a lot, even if you don't know what Wicked the musical is, you have heard Wicked and you have seen Wicked. Oh, the musical play theater hit and like all the fucking commercials about music. Wicked playing in your town. Wicked.
Yeah.
From this to this for a limited time only. Wicked, and it's like fucking God. What is?
Is it a limited time
personally
only,
also
though?
not a big Wizard of Oz fan though. So like
Well, I mean, like
that's-
as far as like I don't know.
Are you
anything
guys like-
this
you guys
one
like
has
Wizard of Oz?
Jeff Goldblum. What?
you
Jeff?
guys like Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like.
I mean,
it.
I don't like love it, but yeah, it's good.
You
It
should
enjoy
hear
wasn't,
me.
it wasn't in my childhood rotation, but I liked it.
It was spooky watching it as a very young kid the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
Granted, there are a lot of movies, again, that when you're that young, something benign can just appear so terrifying for no reason.
True.
But like those monkeys and the tornado and the freaking, I'm trying to think what else.
Just it being in the sepia like colorway used to just like freak me out. Like I didn't like that. Like because at the
I mean,
beginning of
it
the movie it's like
starts with
brown. Yeah. So
Well,
it's
no,
like,
it's just black and white. It wasn't sepia or sepia or whatever.
Oh, it wasn't.
And-
I just didn't like it. Scary.
Well, funnily enough, too, it's somebody might correct me. I don't think it's the first, but it was one of the first movies to use color technology. So
I
it
think so,
actually
yeah.
was sort of a big deal when it made that switch back then, going from black and white to colorful. It
They
was
old as
near
hell.
one of the first though, but yes, it is. But so like that, it actually was like imagine you've only ever seen black and white, and you go to the
Yeah.
movie theater, and then suddenly you're like,
See, like,
you see this too, bro? Like what the?
what I wish I could do is like go back to Wizard of Oz. Okay, I'm a time traveler. Okay, I go back. This is the premiere Wizard of Oz. Okay, everyone's there. Okay, I swap out Wizard of Oz. I put in Transformers, Michael Bay first Transformers, bro. What do you think those like? Could you, their mind would
Freaking out, bro.
explode. Like, you know, like they're mind
Yeah.
think they're seeing like alien technology.
Well, you know what's funny?
what-
It was studied briefly, but there was for a small period, like a decade or two, somewhere around there, studied that a majority of people actually dreamed in black and white during the era of exclusively black and white TV and stuff.
I could see it.
That's cool.
But that was the only time. And then color came, and before it, nobody did that. But like it's weird that it influenced it so much too. Like subconsciously, your brain that you would dream, and it's the only phenomenon that's that certain time period around there was the only time it's ever been.
You guys just don't dream of a dark void. Like it's just not just
Nobody else, just me.
darkness.
I can see it because like with so much of like entertainment medium and like how you consume media, if the only media you consume is colorless, then you know, because like it's like in my dreams are rarely playing from my perspective. They're like playing like some random ass show type. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because almost all my, in fact, I don't know if I can even think. All mine are POVs.
Yeah,
What?
I know.
Like it's always from like like not third person. Like it's always me.
No,
Like
mine's
your
in the
dreams.
Mine's
like,
always mine are all or 90% of the time like from third person like perspective.
Wow.
see, I like I
interesting.
bounce between. Like
I've never.
I have some moments. I have some dreams where it's I'm perspective, but most of the time like it's like some random ass TV show that my little brain made up.
Interesting.
Yo, that's interesting. Okay, wait. If you're a YouTube frog, comment down below. How do you dream? I've never heard.
We're gonna do a little study in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, I
Or,
guess
like,
I've never really.
so
I
you're
just
only
assumed
first person,
everybody.
Blue is exclusively third.
I'm not
Well, you
exclusively
say
third.
exclusively.
I say most of my dreams are third person, or like I'm like my brain is making something.
See, I'm bouncing in between, and then like sometimes I'm not even in the dream. Sometimes,
same. Yeah, that's also where my third person comes
Are you
from.
always in the dream, Mr. Fruit? Like at all times you are in the scene.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
a lot of
Well,
times
not just
for
in the
me-
scene. Like I'm in my eyes. Like I don't see myself. I am me.
That's
in that
so
scene.
weird.
A lot of times for me, I'm like Rob. Many times I'm not even in my own dream.
Yeah, I would say like 75% of the time I'm like third person, and then like 25% of the time I'm like first person. Yeah.
Wow,
But as soon as like the plane crashes, it goes third person. Yeah, and then like I dust myself like, ah, damn, that was crazy. And then like I'm back in first person.
It kind of. It sounds like you hit that, and it was like the cutscene. Like you started GTA, you go third person. That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is though. Like it really is.
Here we
like
go
that.
again.
Oh shit.
So anyway,
so Gladiator.
Yeah, Gladiator 2. I have been mulling over. I need to eventually just go back and rescale all of them. I've tried to simplify my scoring system.
Okay. Back to simplify.
Because everybody does it. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is how I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm going to number them because every number just stands for something. So I'm going to keep it real simple. Okay, a 1 is skip. A 2 is can skip.
Okay.
A 3 is can watch.
Okay.
A 4 is watch, and a 5 is must watch.
Okay.
So it just varies from like to one way or the other. I think
the
it helps
last 5
simplify it.
being the Wild Robot, I believe.
Yeah, Wild Robot would still be a 5. I would put Gladiator 2 at watch 4.
Okay.
I think it's solid, and especially if you like the first one. But I think it does pretty good justice. Like it wasn't like a, oh brother, they shouldn't have made this. They should have just left like the the legacy alone. And then I went to go see Venom because I guess we haven't done episodes since. I saw Venom the last.
The
Last
can't
Dance.
believe there's a third one.
Last Dance.
Last Dance.
Yeah.
Last Dance.
I
don't know where
I would
pulled
put that one. I put that one at a 2. Can skip.
Oof.
Was not great.
So not a boom, but a
no.
dude. Okay.
Yeah.
2.
It
I mean, like
even talked to a Venom fan, and before going in, they want to know what I thought. And they're like, okay, well, I'll go. I'm a pretty big fan. And they came out going, okay, yeah, I could see why you thought that. They were so much of a fan. They're like, I would rate it a little higher. But just
Is
as
the only good Venom though the first one? And then
Was that one even
well,
good?
I'll be honest.
That's
I'm
why
surprised. I'm
is that
surprised it
when
got 2 sequels, bro.
Same.
I guess it
I
made
thought
just
the
enough
first
money.
one was all
that-
right? Like I thought it
Yeah.
was okay. Like
I thought it was
all right, that was
very
fun.
okay. Yeah.
like the best way to describe those movies to me is like it did what a movie was supposed to do. It took me out for 2 hours or however long
Yeah.
it was, and I for one moment did go like, "That's boring as hell." Like this movie's long as hell.
Yeah,
And I pull
what
up
time is it?
Subway Surfers, like so.
or
That's
you
why I was shocked. Like I didn't see the second one, or I haven't seen the third one, and I probably don't plan on it.
the third one, the best thing about this one was just like the cameos of different symbiotes and stuff they have. But the entire story, the plot, obvious like MacGuffin, the fumble of Noel, I mean, as a whole, yeah, it's just. And again, it sort of ended like a, but what if there's a fourth? And I'm like,
Ugh.
I
Keep getting
don't
them
know.
checks, Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if
The
they
Last
keep
Dance, but what
the
if?
Last Dance, the last Dance.
All right, but for real this time.
The Last
Yeah,
Dance
but I guess if it's green, in the money, maybe they will.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
two's
like-
not bad though. Like I was kind of expecting like a 1, to be honest.
No, like, I mean, I was kind of taken out of it a little bit, but like that's why it's a can skip and not like a can watch. If you're a Venom fan, then nothing I say is gonna matter anyway. You've probably already seen it. But I guess like this is like a can skip is sort of like you're in a long flight and you've seen most of the other things currently in the catalog, and they have
Yep.
Venom: The Last Dance.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. It's like one of those, like an airplane movie. And then I don't think I've really seen any other movies.
I haven't either. Last movie I saw was The Wild Robot because I was told by my esteemed colleague that I had to go see it.
Well, actually, I don't know if you've talked about it though. What'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. It was awesome. Made me think about my cats. And you get like kind of the both like spectrums of it. You're like, I feel like I'm the duck, but then you're like, I'm the robot now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was cool. It was a good movie.
Well, and speaking of which, we'll segue on Thanksgiving. So my family growing up, we always did Thanksgiving lunch, which I know most people they do Thanksgiving dinner. Well, it works out because then once I got married, her family did dinner, so it was never like a
what
this
time is
year
lunch?
or that or like noon.
Okay.
Like, yeah, we'll eat around like noon
And it's
or like 11:30.
and it's the same kind of food. It's just
Yeah.
we're just serving it a little different. At a different time.
Yeah, it's literally just Thanksgiving, but we just did it at lunch. Why? I don't know. I think my mom grew up like that, and that's what we did. So this year, one of my brothers moved away this year. He couldn't make it because he's coming for Christmas, so he couldn't make both.
Yeah.
And then recently, my other brother got married, and they have their own family stuff now, so he couldn't make it. So it's just me, my wife, and my parents. And typically we always go over to their house, but last minute, like the day before, my mom's like, why don't we just come over to your house? That'll be fun. I'm like, all right, sure. Because we'd been planning to go over there to eat, but then since I have like the theater, we'd been telling my parents for a while, like we think they would like Wild Robot. And so they're like, well, why not? Because typically on Thanksgiving and Christmas, one of the few family traditions we have was like go out to the theater to see a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then it came out pretty much everyone except for my mom and me doesn't like going to the movie theater. So we're like, all right, well, fine, we'll still see a movie, but why don't you guys just come over here? Because Claire bought Wild Robot, like day one, she could on Blu-ray. So we had it. So yeah, we ate here, and then we went to go see the movie in the theater, and it was the first time my mom and dad watched it. My mom really enjoyed it. Had some good chuckles as well, and my dad, I couldn't tell. He's just quiet over there in the dark corner. And then the movie ends. I turn the lights on, and he's over there lying down, just tears,
okay.
No.
like red-eyed, tears, not saying anything, but he's just like,
That was all right.
Those were
yeah.
good.
He was like, that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that was good.
And so for my dad, that's a rave review. Oh, I know. I was thinking because that's the interesting thing about the movie. Like you mentioned, when you're watching it, you can put yourself in different perspectives. But I imagine for my mom and dad, they almost exclusively see themselves as the robot
Totally.
now.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
so, but like, no matter where you are, that's just like the experience or what you get from it is completely different. And it hits in
Yeah.
hard ways, but different ways.
Yeah.
Um, so they really enjoyed that. And then we'll see what you guys did for Thanksgiving. But then typically we go over for Claire's families for dinner, but Claire ended up getting sick.
Ooh.
So we actually just vibed at home.
Got the dumps.
Um, yeah, food poisoning from something. It was food poisoning. I don't know from what.
Okay.
Um, which is strange because like I'm the one with like a bad stomach and like
Yeah.
typical, and she and I like I was thinking I was like we have not like we've eaten the same stuff the past couple days.
Dino
So.
nuggets and French fries tonight, please. Thank you.
So anyway, that was my Thanksgiving. How about you boys?
So my Thanksgiving was great.
I love that.
Classic, just visited with some kids. Well, I say some kids. That's my
Yeah, yeah.
nephews.
Make it
My
sound like you
nephew-
went to like the hospital or something.
Yeah, just visited with my nephews.
I mean, that'd be
And that
good on you, but
no, that was cool. But like, man, one thing I noticed, man, like, and like I asked my mom this, and she said yes, and it just like just everything with them is a gun. Like they have like they got like Nerf guns, and then they got like
oh, oh my God.
little like sticks to like build things. That's a gun. Pew, pew, like it's like I was like, God damn, everything's a gun. And then I called my mom. I was like, Hey
Fire.
mom, was I playing with guns? She's like, You loved guns. I was like, Oh, all right, well, shit. Like,
I remember growing up, and my parents wouldn't let us have any gun stuff.
Oh,
But
really?
there was a very specific portrait, like photo portrait holder they had
Uh-huh.
for a couple
And
of them that were the same.
if you
And it
use
was
your
like this
imagination,
wooden, yeah, it was like this wooden like curve that would fold in two. So if you took out the picture and fold it in two, it had a handle and then a thing. And that was enough for us to be like, we're gonna play guns.
we're playing
Yeah,
guns with this.
same.
So I think it's just unanimous. Like at some point, like
Man,
when did at least I gotta think our generation, did you not grow up at least playing, like I'm a
but like,
cowboy or
yeah. So like,
something?
I guess I just like was like, God, man, like kids love guns. Like I just don't know.
They go
Like
crazy for
Hey,
'em.
as I was
that's just
as
like
a
one
kid,
like
I loved guns.
yeah, just like one thing. Like I just and like I don't know. Is that like is that an American kid thing? Then that got me thinking. Like is like do
Yeah, do
kids
you
play
grow up in
with
the
like
UK and you just like dream of shivs? Like you're like, this looks like a shiv,
Oh
and you
I
just
no,
don't
like
I
I
just don't
fucking love knives, bro.
yeah like I just don't I just don't understand like that was one thing so that was like had me pondering on Thanksgiving and then so Cindy and I go there for about an hour and then we get like all right we're kidded out like let's get out of here so we get out
Oops.
of and then we're like let's queue a game of League and so we queue a
Ah,
game of League
classic Thanksgiving.
and um so we're queuing a game of League and then we go and like play games. I might have like the timeline messed up a little bit. But anyways, if you guys look in general, in the GG over easy chat, I put a picture. Like we're playing League or something like that, or it's like the next day after Thanksgiving, and we're playing League, and Sydney's like, "You need to come up to my room like right now." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "You need to come up to my room, like office right now." I was like, "Is everything okay?" She's like, "Yeah, everything's okay. Just come up when you have the chance." I come upstairs, and I'll put it in the video, but for the audio listeners, on Sydney's like window seal, there are like burn marks, like legit burn, like a fire happened there. And like the window seal plastic is like bubbled, like it bubbled outward. Like what you can't see in that is like there's a bubble that came outward, but because what she tried to do was try and open up her window, but the fire bubble or the plastic bubble that was there like stopped it. And she was like, "What the hell?" And then saw that. So at some point while we were out on Thanksgiving or cooking and stuff like that, or like I think for our Friendsgiving, our house nearly like burnt down,
Holy crap.
and we didn't know what it was from, and like we like, and it was like scary, and it was like, what the hell could this have been from? And it turns out, and like I'm not making this up, if you look at like the burn lines, you can see how like they're perfectly kind of lines, like they're like lines. It came from Sydney's makeup mirror. At some point during the day, the sun was
On the
coming.
right angle.
Yep, just came perfectly through for a couple hours, bro. Shined perfectly off of her makeup mirror because she does her makeup in her office, and shined right there, bro. And like, dude, thank God, like
Meanwhile, the ants
vapors
are like,
weren't.
yeah, it ain't so funny, is it?
Yeah, then all of a sudden, when God does it to you, it ain't that chill. Yeah, dude. So Sydney and I, at one point while we were out for Friendsgiving, our house nearly like burned down. We don't know. I remember at some point like smelling something kind of funny, but yeah, just so people are out there, make sure your makeup mirrors aren't next to places where direct sunlight can come in contact with them. Because we first thought, like, I first like said that I was like, I think it's like because these burn lines are really interesting. They're like perfectly straight, and I was like, the only way that could have been was from like
A
refracting
Victor laser
sunlight.
came out of the game, and
Oh my god! I don't even want to think about how many people's homes like burned down, and like the authorities are like, we don't know what it was, and it was
Yeah,
a fucking.
so
the
It could have
perk
been
was
just
a
a
mirror.
random ass mirror.
yeah, dude, and I'm not joking you. That like window seal is burnt. Like it is like there was a steady flame on that thing for a good minute. And we're just
That's Monka.
yeah, dude. It's so insane. Like not even clickbait, like our house almost like burned down like while we were gone. It was
But that is a
we don't
great
and like
title
that's the
for the
crazy thing
episode.
too, is like we don't know when it
Rob's house
happened.
almost burned down.
We weren't like we don't think we were home when it happened, like, or we think
Oh
we were
yeah.
home, but
That would have
like
been
doing
terrible.
something. Like it was like it's so scary. So like now Sydney's like really good about her makeup mirror after
Well, the good
nearly
news
having.
is having a very paranoid wife. Um, don't really have to worry about that stuff because like when we left for vacation, she makes me go and unplug everything from sockets, turn off any outlets. We take out anything
Really?
that doesn't because it's like could randomly start an electrical fire. And we
Yeah.
take out these things and we shut it like these
Yeah.
like whatever shades um and then even if that's not the case, she has a fireproof box with most of our things inside that, so in case that happens. And she also has like 8 ready to go bags in case wildfire shows up or a tornado or we got to take
Yeah.
the puppy somewhere. She's so
Honestly, kind of
it
based.
helps because I don't. Yeah, it's nice because she's paranoid enough for the both of us. So
Yeah. That it was genuinely like one of the most insane. Like if I didn't have that picture, like and someone said like, oh, like my house nearly burnt down from like a refracting like thing off a mirror, like I would think you're a fucking idiot and or like
now
you can't like
imagine,
I swear, like I'll have the picture like up here the whole time we're talking about it. Like it
imagine like
was
500 years ago though. You come back to your house to find that, and you don't know what it is, and you
yeah.
just discovered refraction. Oh my
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
god!
500 years ago when
Oh,
And
you
now
came
all of a
back from
sudden I'm the
watching the
Edison of
new,
my generation.
you came back from the new Transformers movie and you're like, what the fuck? How could this have happened?
I do just want to make one comment. I saw it earlier today, um, but some guy. Oh, I just saw a funny tweet because it had a funny SpongeBob meme.
Yep.
But he was quoting some guy who was saying that Elon Musk was the Edison of our time.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, that's what he said. And I was
that's
just
why
like,
I said that.
what? Bizarre. Anyway, so how was your Thanksgiving, Blue? Hopefully,
I
no fires.
did. There was no fires. I didn't really do much. We ordered some shawarma.
Ooh,
I don't know what
And
that is.
this is my first time being away from home, and then my partner doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, so ordered some shawarma. He ended up going to visit his fam just because during Thanksgiving, it's basically a free day off for all of them. They don't normally get, and pretty much it. Nothing crazy. It was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
chill Thanksgiving. Boomy got a whole lot of chicken.
heck
So
yeah,
Boomy had a
Boomy.
much more eventful Thanksgiving than I did.
What more could you want?
Well, that's nice. Sounds like most of ours, all of ours were low key, minus the nearly burning down
I
part.
much prefer a more low key Thanksgiving.
Well,
Because Christmas is where it goes crazy with my family, and
yeah. Well,
yeah,
my Christmas this year is probably going to be actually the most low key because my stepbrother's having a baby.
Ooh.
So like they're all going over there. So it's like I'm not going. So it's probably gonna be super chill. Speaking of something that wasn't chill in the slightest, which was pretty polarizing, and we'll kind of go through some of them.
Monka.
Were some of the nominations for the Game Awards.
I knew we were gonna do this.
Have you seen these nominations, Mr. Fruit?
Have.
Okay, yes, you have. Okay.
Mr. Fruit is Mr. Fruit, you don't have to get so emotional over how bad these nominations are, man.
So we'll start off with our initial thoughts here. I'm just gonna kind of read some awards that are pretty interesting. Content Creator of the Year, Queso, Ilowan, Techno Gamers, Typical Gamer, and Usada Picora. I'm sorry, Mr. Fruit. Once again, just
we were
missed
like,
out.
we were right there, man.
Yeah, I was reading that and I thought you would be on the edge of your seat. Maybe.
Yeah, I was waiting there, and man.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know literally any of those. I don't.
My setup's also been broken, so I haven't even been able to stream in like over a month.
Okay, here we go. Most anticipated game. Interesting category. Death Stranding 2. Can't believe people are excited about that. Ghost of Yote.
Oh my god.
Grand Theft Auto 6.
I mean,
like that's
there's no way that doesn't
Prime
win.
4 Beyond and Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh my god, I'm so
I imagine they made a
Monster Hunter.
list. Okay, we have GTA 6. We just gotta like pretend there's like 4 others,
Well,
guys.
there's no. Okay, hold on. There was. It was more than just that. It was okay, guys. We have to have Grand Theft Auto, obviously, and then Jeff went into the thing. He was like, "Guys, where the hell is oh my god, I forgot his name. Death Stranding director. Oh, you're
Kojima.
solid, my homie. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Kojima. I had a long day at work. Okay. Yeah, he was like, guys, where the fuck is Kojima in this list? And like everyone's like, what? And then Jeff is just there, like with Kojima's dick in his mouth, like, where is Kojima?
Yeah, they missed the thing. It was like there's one rule: if there is a nomination category that can include Kojima, it will include Kojima.
Everything is normal, but like in the back, you're like, what's a note from Jeff? Oh yeah, Jeff always leaves these notes. Where is Kojima? Put Kojima in. Kojima is ready.
It's not Murphy's Law, it's Kojima's Law.
It's Jeff's Law. Must always have Kojima somewhere in the
Anything
Game
that
Awards.
can have Kojima will have Kojima.
Yeah.
So we're all picking GTA 6 as the winner there.
I mean, yeah, I think any
it's
other.
Not for me, but yeah.
Well, I love Wilds, and I'm far more excited for Wilds than GTA. I mean, this is like, this is a fan. Anything that's anticipated, like most anticipated, is obviously going to be fan focused,
Plus,
right? And there's what bigger game.
Even from a non-subjective standpoint, I don't know how you could argue any game being more anticipated than GTA. Like, what are the biggest entertainment product ever? Highest selling, highest grossing, like culture defining. How are you gonna be like, that's Stranding 2? Like you just.
Our next category here is best adaptation. We have Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon Yakuza, and Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft.
Did people I thought the Yakuza wasn't even received very well.
I have no idea. Maybe it was the only video game thing that got also received an adaptation.
The same thing with the Lara Croft. Yeah, maybe it's just there's only 5.
These were the only other ones.
I mean, I could actually see there being an argument for Fallout, but I don't see how Arcane doesn't win.
Yeah, I don't see how Arcane doesn't win either. They
just
got
speaking
stands, bro.
Critically acclaimed. It's the only TV show to ever have an entire season be 9 or higher on IMDb.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, not even season 1 did that, and no other TV show has ever done that.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's why I'm saying it's not even like I'm a League fan. I'm saying like critically, across the board, this is like heralded as incredible. Yeah. So, although Fallout was received really well, I think it won Emmys and stuff. Being in the same category as Arcane, Now, if Fallout does win, I think
Okay, it
Arcane got
does.
robbed. But I wouldn't be shocked because it's fan, and I'm like, okay, Fallout was good, but any of the other ones, if they win,
I
just
think
would no way.
the only thing that Fallout has going for it that Arcane doesn't is that it's live action, and I think having because an adaptation to go from a video game to like live is pretty difficult. We've seen from other kind of movies trying to do that. So
But that girl's eating. What is her name? Ella Purnell? I have no idea. She's like the main actor in Fallout,
I
but she's
knew
the
her
voice of
from
Jinx.
I only knew her from Yellow Jackets. Like I was like, where do I remember her from? And then Sydney put on Yellow Jackets again, and I was like, that's what she's
Ooh.
from. Like,
You never finished that.
Sydney
need to.
loved it. So we're all picking Arcane here.
Yeah, I don't really care for Arcane, but I think it's inescapable.
Whoa, you didn't really love it or like it, Blue?
I haven't watched it, and I don't really plan on it.
Sure. I think you're missing out, but you don't want to.
I'm sure it's great.
I would say you're. So I think people forget. I have watched it, guys. I watched the newest season. Sydney got into League of Legends, and she was like,
Yeah.
"People are telling me we should watch Arcane," and I was like, "All right, fine." Like that
Against
was
Rob's better judgment, he survived the Imagine Dragons intro.
Oh, and then so season 2 starts, and I go, they can't
New
have
intro,
the same.
new intro, new
I
intro.
was like, they can't, right? Like they can't. And Sydney was like, well, we're watching it because it's like the first intro, so like we're watching it. Oh yeah, dude. Like the look of disappointment on my face when I hear, I was like,
you know what's funny? We watched that first episode. The intro started, and Claire looked at me like, Rob's gonna be so upset.
I heard
That's the first thing. That was the first thing she said.
Best multiplayer game. I would say this is a pretty good year. Okay. We got Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
I'm gonna give it to Helldivers.
It's, Helldivers was sick, but I think I fell off the Helldivers train a lot quicker than most people did.
Well, this is the same thing. Like, I didn't go on the Helldivers as much either, but the multiplayer aspect of it,
and what brought it
and what
from
it did, yeah. How it brought people together. One, I mean, the entire game's narrative is
it
based
brought
around
normies too. Like I had like
That's
normies
true.
like
a lot of memes. Like, I think it was a surprise and did some things unexpected, whereas Call of Duty was another Call of Duty. I did enjoy Warhammer. I did like that, but I don't think it'll win. And I mean, Super Mario Party, it's a fun Super Mario Party. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Helldivers is the one on the list that was like a big surprise that did some things, or like connectively had people experiencing the game differently and talking about it differently because of the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna vote for Helldivers 2 to win it, but personally, I'd vote for Super Mario because it's Super Mario Party Jamboree because it's the Mario Party I've always wanted. And
although, let us choose what mini games to put on like the board.
True.
Like, there's so many in the game, but then like the main board one, they're like, you get like the same 15. Like, why can't we should be able to choose what we do.
Yeah, let's go crazy. Let's go stupid.
Yeah, that's my only complaint.
I'm trying to look at other categories okay, here you go. Best fighting game. Okay, you guys are big fighting stands. We have Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero.
Sparking.
Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Multiverses. And Tekken 8.
Multiverses clears, bro. Okay, so anyway, back to the real winners. I feel like Tekken has been, as far as fighting games,
everyone likes it, right?
Yeah, it has popped off, gotten a lot of people into it that hasn't otherwise. But from the normie position, you have Sparking Zero. which is like the fastest selling and highest grossing Dragon Ball game so far. Normies loved it, although the competitive side is garbage. In fact, there was just some drama because there was like a tournament with Sparking Zero, and I think the organizers had to shut it down or something, or like the match
What?
because it was on stream and they just flew up in the air for 10 minutes straight. They cut away to the commentators like to just like talking. And, like the game is just not balanced to be competitive, and there's just too much cheesy stuff and like or weird
So
bizarre
they're
things
not.
to
So
use.
like they can't even like hit each other because then they'll open up themselves to an attack and then like they lose or
Yeah,
something. So it's like I
like I
might
don't
as
know
well
if
just
it was
fight.
just like I don't know if it was like a vanish battle, but like technically you could just go pew 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 pew, or even just like that if you fly straight up. Like I don't know what all you could do. So I mean, again,
The game wasn't
competitively,
meant.
no. I mean, they literally have it in the game where like certain characters do worse or better stuff just because it's canon, which I think is cool. Like I would rather have that,
Chiatsu.
but it doesn't make it competitively viable.
I think that validates it even more for fighting game of the year. Because for me and for a lot of people and for most people who play fighting games are not about being competitive. Fighting games are just
True.
about sitting around and having fun with the fighting game characters. Now, yes, as internet chronically online internet people, yes, of course we
especially
love
fighting game community.
Yeah, we
Like-
love fighting games and the competition that they bring. However, for normies, people just like shitting around on Sparking Zero because it's fun and goofy. And I think that's a lot of what modern fighting games have kind of lost in part of it, because so much of fighting games now are like the competitive aspect, which is sick, but there's not as much room as there used to be. Not that there's not enough room, but it's just like nobody focuses on the goofy aspect of fighting games. And that's exactly what Sakurai keeps chasing. And it's why Smash is so successful commercially, not because it's a competitive fighting game, because Smash is just really fucking fun to play.
Yeah.
And as this is the guy who loves competitive fighting games, my ass is over here watching like Ultimate and Tekken finals, watching Arslan tear shit up at Evo stage. But there's got to be room for these like goofy little fighting games, and I think that if a fighting game is competitively viable or not isn't actually like a good or bad thing on like how good of a game it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But
mean, I'm with you guys.
Pros and cons.
Like, I can't remember the last time I played a fighting game and lost 20 straight or 30 straight and still had fun the whole time. So Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is easily the most fun fighting game I've had since like Smash came out.
I could see Tekken or Dragon Ball winning.
Yeah.
Fan voted. It's hard to say. Either the FGZ community shows up and votes Tekken, or the norm is just like we like Dragon Ball. So.
All right. Now here's where we start to get a little polarizing.
Yeah,
best
this is
RPG
it.
game. Dragon Dogma 2. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Refantasio, and Elden Ring, Shadow of Erdtree.
Okay, so we'll go over why this is controversial later, but I find it hard to think, as far as like a pure RPG, I find it hard to see any other game of Fantasio taking it.
I don't even know what that
True,
is.
it's the most RPG. I mean, it's a JRPG, so you already know
it's about as RPG as you can get from the RPG perspective.
But of that list, I think it's taken a good bit. Like, wouldn't surprise me if Final Fantasy just pulls it out.
Oh, true. Yeah, I could see. Final Fantasy has been so commercially, or not commercially. I mean, yeah, but like critically acclaimed this year too. Like critics came
People
out
loved it
for Final Fantasy.
Now,
I could see that.
Here's my question to you two. Do you think that Elden Ring Shadow of Erdtree should even be allowed to be nominated?
Yes.
I think for this category, I can. It's tough because like DLCs are so often bigger than especially from quality companies, are often bigger than a lot of the games that get nominated anyways. And Erdtree is without a doubt bigger than most games as a DLC.
Yeah.
Even if it's still fairly short, compared to Elden Ring, like the main Elden Ring, like, ooh, it's not $100 long. It's not a $100 long RPG, but like
it's still like jam packed, like 30.
Yeah, exactly. So it's still a
of just
lot.
quality too. It's not
Still
like fluff.
a lot of content, a lot of gameplay, and I don't know if it should be nominated, but I think if looking at the standards of like the way people want to quantify like what should or should not be nominated, I think for a lot of people it's like it shouldn't be nominated because it's DLC, and it's like, okay, but why shouldn't a DLC be nominated if the DLC is already bigger than most games?
Yeah.
So
that's the drama, because I know
Yeah.
we'll get to it, but I think it was also nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah, I think not every DLC is created equally. But in this case, like Shadow of the Erdtree, I mean, that's just the argument too. Is like, by all accounts, this is a game in itself. The quality, the content, the like the meat, potatoes, it's all. I mean, it really is. It's like they just released another game.
Yeah.
Super in depth. Really good. My problem is that I think if they were going and judging by this, I don't know why they didn't give Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty the same treatment last year. The argument
True.
against that for any nominations was they're like,
True.
well, it's DLC.
True.
However,
Yeah.
I think Phantom Liberty, especially after playing that, would fit the same criteria as Shadow of the Erdtree. As maybe it wouldn't have even been nominated or won, but I think it should have had the capability, just like Shadow of the Erdtree did.
Yeah.
Because of the quality, the size. I mean, straight
The
up Phantom.
girth.
I talked about it. It's like I played through Cyberpunk. I really liked it. It would be like an 8.5 or a 9. Phantom Liberty makes the game like a 10 for me. Like it takes the whole thing and just boom. So that's my only problem is I don't know. Like I think they should have again given Phantom Liberty the same treatment, but I think it's just a case by case basis. It depends on the DLC, but another thing too to take into consideration with these nominations is while it is a fan vote, the nominations were all approved and decided by like a panel of critics and reviewers and creators. So they all unanimously agreed, like, yeah, Shadow of the Erdtree fits this category. So it wasn't like the Game Awards themselves were like, let's throw that on there. Like
I think
people came together and were like, yeah, like this is.
I think for me, people are giving a lot of flack to like this isn't fair. It's a DLC. I think the issue is more so the Game Awards themselves have really not like come out and like been like, oh, there's been like a change to the way we judge or like if DLCs are eligible or not, or because historically they haven't been not eligible, just they haven't been included, and so I guess being more clear, because like it does become redundant to say, oh well, we have a what was the best ongoing game, or like the best DLC category. We still don't have a best like expansion category. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, I think that would solve a lot of the.
That would solve a lot of issues, and it also just doesn't really help that they, in general, are generally pretty. Have always been really vague about like where expansions and DLCs fit in the award ceremony. You know what I mean? And I think after this, they got to be a lot more like, hey, what's the criteria?
Yeah, it needs to be more black and white. But I think also the problem though is I don't think they can do like best expansion because it's so variable, and like the amount of expansions we get for games within a year could vary. There could be 1, there could be 10, and also the length or the size and the value of it, the girth. So I don't think that like while it would solve the issue of being like, okay, well this is a clear separation, and like Shadow of Erdtree clears in that category. I think the problem at why there is in that category is they just probably consistently wouldn't have
Yeah.
the same thing. So again, it makes it a weird gray area, but yeah, I agree. They just make the criteria for a nomination clear. Because I do get some of the arguments of people being like, well, it takes away, or like, what about the games that took even longer to come out? Blah, blah. Well,
Get
my
good.
argument would be, yeah,
Get good.
if a DLC came out and it just turned out to be better than all those games,
Yeah,
then it
just
should win. Like, why
skill
shouldn't it
issue.
win Game of the Year? Yeah. Like, I think the argument is because the title is called Game of the Year. And then the argument is, well, is a DLC a game? Or is it like so where do we count it
where's
as a
the
game
line?
bubble? Yeah, so I think it's just a lot of technicalities and stuff about people saying this or that. But
Yeah.
I think especially in the case of Shadow of the Erdtree, 100% can see why it would be nominated. I mean, straight up when it came out, people were like, I can't believe that like this straight up feels like they could have just called this a different Souls game and practically released it, and it would have just been a Souls game. So I get it. I get why it's contentious though. But in this case, so for best RPG, I think Shadow of the Erdtree, since it is in there, has a real good chance of taking it. But I also still stand by the Final Fantasy. A lot of stands. I know people really enjoyed it like they did the last one. So I could see either, although, like what Blue was saying about RPG, I've heard only great things about Metaphor Refantasio or whatever.
Mhm.
It's more niche because it is a JRPG, but for the people that played it and stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
only good things. So again, like if that one, I don't think it would be. I think it would be deserved.
Agree.
But personally, from that list, I would take Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yeah, I'd probably say Shadow of the Erdtree. But I mean,
Put
I'm
up
kind
these
of
nuts in your mouth.
I'm like with both of you guys. Like I think it is good enough to be its own game, but then like I just wish there was a better line of where it was.
Yeah.
Best action game. We got Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
I think Wukong's gonna take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Wukong.
I kind of hate like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the conversation around it.
Oh yeah.
And how it's kind of like it was just a really cool game and a really good game, and it's been like kind of muddled by like the weird. This year has just been the weirdest year for like dude gamer bros being like, so glad Wukong is beating out the other woke Mind Hive virus games.
Yeah.
And they're like, what makes this game woke? And like other games like, there was a black person in it, and that's why it was woke. And I was like, okay, man, got it. So I don't know. It's like, I think any other year I wouldn't be so weird around the topic of this game. I think it's clearly a great game, and I think it definitely deserves
That's
to be
why
in this
I'm voting
category.
for it.
And I think it
Yeah.
deserves to be in this category. But I'm also like, I can't go around without like having the baggage of like the game having such a weird fan base of so sick. It's so sick. We no longer have to have trans people in games. It's like, dude, it's Wukong. What does that have to do with any of the things you're peddling? It's just a Wukong game, man. Like, nonetheless, I'm glad that it's doing good. And it's really interesting to see where Chinese games are going to go from here.
Yeah. Because that was the big deal was, I mean, it is also like just China's pretty much first real AAA single player game.
Because they've been only putting out
gotchas and
stinkers.
stuff. Yeah, but now that potentially Chinese companies see like, wait, we can make a lot of money if we just make a good single player game. And China's a huge industry, so
massive.
It would be cool, like if they end up doing that and we get better games. Sweet.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's one of the most untapped, like, because like I mean, obviously, like current companies are already marketing hard to Chinese, consumers. But it's always been so fascinating to me that we just don't have a lot of like actual Chinese game devs just like with a huge budget. So it'll be interesting. Go on, Rob. Sorry, I interrupted you.
You're good. Best I've never really remembered it being called this. Best debut indie game. I don't remember the debut part being there. I've always thought it was just best indie game. I don't know why they added the debut part.
Hmm.
So this is your category, Mr. Fruit. I don't know how many of these you actually played. Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire.
Played all those except for Pacific Drive. Um,
As you guys know, I'm trying to quit one of my really bad habits. I'm pretty vocal about it, and I'm really excited to have Fume to help me along my journey. Fume is part of the flavored air category that is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking. It's the whole new movement towards better habits, led by today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. Flavored air isn't like vaping. If vapor was compared to a sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. I'm trying to quit my bad habit, and I got my Fume right here next to me, alongside their delicious flavors like cinnamon hearts, crisp mint, and orange vanilla. Personally, I'm starting to come around to the cinnamon hearts core. It has a nice little kick to it. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be the next success story. For a limited time, use our code at GG to get a free gift with your journey pack. Head to tryfume.com, that's TRYFUM.com, and using the code GG. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this podcast. This episode of the GG Over Easy podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we are trying our best to make sense of everything in this crazy world, and that's not easy. We've been given a lot of thanks lately, but more importantly, maybe we should just start giving thanks to ourselves. BetterHelp is here to remind you that you are worth working on. BetterHelp showed me all the best habits that I could possibly do to give myself the best chance of being the best version of myself every day. And even though I don't achieve that every day, I know when I do achieve my best version of myself, I know I followed all those guidelines. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/GG today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GG. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast.
I mean, I'll go first. Balatro. I loved the Plucky Squire. I just love the replayability that Balatro gives me.
I would be shocked if Balatro doesn't win. Balatro seems like it's really like taking the greater.
Now that it's on mobile, I refuse to download it on mobile because like it will just
you ruin your life. You don't do it.
Well, and then like a big thing that I hate though is like I have pretty much almost all the decks done on the thing and all the challenges, but when you have it on mobile, you don't get to like have.
So you mean it just gives you something to do again?
Nope. I won't. See, like, I don't see that as something to do again. I look at that as an inconvenience. Like I already did this. I don't want to do it again. Like
that's fair. But yeah, I think it clears.
And I loved the Plucky Squire.
But I think it introduced a lot of people back to or who haven't played like sort of the deck builder roguelikes. Also proved that like I mean there's straight up just one developer where it's like
have you heard the story
is the
about
concept good?
Like why he made it and stuff like that?
Vaguely.
I heard he like made it like as a joke, like with his friends, and like they made it as like a joke essentially, or like he made it as a joke about like with his friends or something like that. I'll have to look it up real quick.
If I were him, I'd be laughing now too. Sheesh. Man set for life. Good for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just the whole thing where it's just like you don't need fancy graphics. You don't need these like you have a good idea and it's fun. That sometimes that's all it takes.
You just need a great idea and a dream. And also a lot of time.
Oh.
Yeah, I really enjoy Balatro. I think it's a lot of fun. If, like Christian said, if you're into roguelikes or just deck builders in general and you still haven't tried it out, it's so much fun. And it introduces people to like how to play like Texas Hold'em and like 5-card stud and stuff like that, which is fun.
And then they'll go to the casino table. So like, where's my Joker? Which Joker do I draft?
Yeah,
for
which
this
Joker
one?
did I draw?
No.
In 20 years, you think we get Balatro tables? Casinos are running their own roguelites. How far can you get in a Balatro run that the casino gives you? And like they draw your jokers, they'd have a store up.
Jesus.
There's something
I
there,
wouldn't trust it
Vegas.
either. They'd somehow rig it. I wouldn't trust anything, especially if it's digital.
Okay, so we're all on Balatro there.
Yeah.
If Balatro doesn't win, I would be so shocked because man, that game is everywhere.
I'm gonna say this because I have a horse in this race. Best score in music. Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, Return Fantanzo, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade. If you have not played Astrobot, I think Astrobot has some of the most fun music, like soundtrack play like that I have played in a platformer since like maybe Banjo, honestly.
Well,
Really?
It was I like just listen to it like in like I just like will listen to it on YouTube when I'm like driving. Like I'll just pull up like Astrobot. Like it's genuinely like just fun. Like it's a great game. Like and the music was one of my favorite parts of it. Like I loved that game. So I really hope Astrobot gets a lot of love. And especially with this category.
I don't think I've actually played any of them. And beyond that too, typically I don't usually notice soundtracks unless they really blow me away either. Because it's not like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like I only remember the music if I'm like, oh yeah, it blew me away.
Mhm.
So my horse in these races is always just sort of like, and in this case, I don't have a horse. I haven't played any of them.
Well,
But
I think the
wouldn't be
platformers
surprised if
winning.
Final Fantasy take this one.
I think platformers winning this for the audio and score would be really good and bring back like platformers to
Would be
making
cool.
like good, cool like music like they did.
It would
And
be
having
cool,
that
but
almost be
also
part of the game.
it's the same thing I was sort of saying with Final Fantasy before. I know people loved it, and I do constantly hear about Final Fantasy music, so
Yeah.
it might win. But it'd be cool if Astro Ball won. It's good to hear you liked it that much, like the sound
Oh,
and
it was
everything.
sick. That game was awesome. If you need like if you're a platformer fan like I am, like I loved platformers growing up, so like that's like
Except
the
for
little
Lion
kid in.
King. Screw Lion King.
Oh yeah, except that one. That one is pure nightmare fuel. I can beat the first level. That second level with the giraffe heads. That wasn't fair. Dude, have you like ever gone back and looked at that level though? Like the shit they
I think I
want you to
watched
do is crazy.
like a YouTube video documentary about it, or it's just like going back and looking at it.
Yeah, it's insane. Okay, now this is one I wanted to bring up because I don't get what this means. Okay, best game direction. Okay, now here are the
They
categories.
have a description for what they mean by
Nope,
that?
it just says. I mean, I have here on Reddit just best game direction, and it doesn't have like a description to it. Like
It'd make
I
more
don't.
sense if they were, because I could see it going a couple different ways. But like, is it like creative direction, or
I mean, Alan Wake 2 won it last year for best game direction. So take that as you will.
so then I would think maybe creative, because I think that's what I remember hearing about Alan Wake.
So we
That'd be
have
my guess.
Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow Virtue, Final Fantasy VII, and Metaphor Refantanzio.
Yeah, without much context,
That's what I mean. Like
I feel like somebody could make an argument for every single one.
I
Because is it like one that changed? Well, so again, like, what do
so
they
like
mean
I look at
direction?
Balatro and I like the Balatro for its simplicity, but like not also but its simplicity, but like the depth to the simplicity. But then I look at Black Myth Wukong and I love how it's not simplistic and it's like big and grand and
Yeah, but like,
so
what
it's
if
like
it's how it shapes the direction of gaming? Because if so, Shadow of
right
the
like
Erdtree showed what DLC could look like. And it's like
yeah, or is it what
Final
Astrobot
Fantasy
brought
VII.
with platforming and that like
Yeah,
platformers can be fun and challenging and also like having the speedrunning type element built into the game.
or Final
Like
Fantasy VII, you could say is changing the direction of like remakes and reimaginations, where
yeah.
you take source, but you still change it, and I don't know. I would have no idea.
Remake my balls in your mouth. That's my game direction. How about that? Got him. Aha.
Okay.
Okay.
So Blue.
I mean, game direction is like, I don't know.
So who you picking in this then, Blue, with your game direction?
I don't
The balls.
know. This is impossible.
Yeah, this one's weird. That's like
Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean,
this one's just so subjective in a way that like I can't even quantify.
I'll take I'll take whoever wins, but I just want the explanation. Or like I don't know, like I'm sure maybe it says it somewhere else, just not in the Reddit post. But like the day of the awards, they might be like, and the best word for game direction for blah 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 blah, and then it'll be like, okay, so that's the criteria. And once I know the criteria, then it will make more sense. But yeah, without knowing anymore, currently game direction is just vague enough that depending on it, like all those games might you could argue for them. So yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll just go to game of the year. We have Astrobot by Team Asobi, Blatro by Team Local Funk, Black Myth Wukong by Game Science, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree from Software, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth from Square Enix, and Metaphor Revencido from Studio Zero.
Yo, Baltro making it on that. Good for them.
Pretty sick.
Good for them. I don't think it'll win, but good for them.
No, I don't think it'll
That's
win either.
anytime in any games on best game. I mean, that's sick.
It's sick.
Much less a solo dev.
I mean, I really didn't realize like how big Blatro was, or like I guess is. I guess it being on mobile probably took it to the stratosphere.
Well, did you see? It has been. I forget the exact reign Minecraft has, but it was an insane reign. You remember that picture you showed me of the SpongeBob's and then Aang?
Yeah, and then one.
So it's essentially Minecraft, but for the first time, Balatro knocked Minecraft off #1. That's how big it is right now, which is crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, I think there are 3 that wouldn't surprise me if they won. Black Myth Wukong, Shadow of the Erdtree, or Final Fantasy. Shadow of the Erdtree wins. Get ready for that fun discourse.
God.
Black Myth Wukong. It's a great game, but I'm with Blue. It's going to be annoying if half the discourse is like,
that's get ready for that discourse. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That goes to show you if you take the it's like, bro, it's just a game. And then Final Fantasy, again, I don't play them, but I know there's just a lot of people that do, and people go crazy for it and love it. And I heard this one delivered. So I think of that list, those are the 3 I could see you taking it.
You know the SpongeBob episode where Neptune makes 1,000 Krabby Patties and SpongeBob just makes one little Krabby Patty? That's how I feel when I'm giving my vote to Astrobot here. Like I'm just giving my. And same with Balatro. Like I would either vote either of these for my game of the year. Like Astrobot or like Balatro would genuinely probably be like my votes for game of the year. Probably Astrobot just beating it out just slightly. But yeah, that's my little vote for Astrobot / Balatro.
I mean, I've heard only great things about Astrobot. But especially if this is fan voted. It didn't break out in the sense of like it was a surprise hit.
It did if you're like a platformer fan and like you
it did
follow,
and
speed running channels like
in the niche of gaming.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people ended up playing that wouldn't have just because of the high praise.
For sure. Like me. I mean, I only played it because I heard like if you're like a fan of like old platformers and just a fan of PlayStation itself, like you got to try it.
And from what I've heard of people who played it, I would be happy if it won because it sounds justified.
Yeah.
I haven't played it, so I can't speak to it. But I think it might also just be a problem. Like you got some heavy hitters to go up against this year. Because like, I mean, if we're up to me, realistically, I think Shadow of the Erdtree or Black Myth Wukong is taking it.
Yeah. I think
Wukong
is taking it.
It's just one of those years where it's like those 2, even Final Fantasy, like those are just some big hitters, especially when again if it like fan voted.
That like just being nominated for Game of the Year for those are like like for Balatro.
Yeah, I mean that's
you know what?
I'm sure that's like
I'm gonna say it. Balatro's gonna win.
Wow, that would be cool.
That would be crazy.
That would be like a feel good story for like I don't know for the feel good gamer. Like I don't know, it would just feel good if that won Game of the Year. But I don't
imagine if anybody hasn't heard that game yet, imagine how much more all the people that would now because of the discourse about like. I would love to see the people who are so upset. Like You mean like look at this game? It look and like a picture. This
I would-
pixel thing won.
I would love to
is-
see that too.
yeah.
You would
Like,
have. Well,
Well,
the thing
like-
is, you already
like,
have
lol,
that
this beats out
discourse.
this.
You already have the
Yeah.
discourse, and people were like, game of the year, amazing games. And then it's over here like, a DLC in some random fucking card game. And it's like, do you guys not play games? Is that what's going on here?
Oh, I think I saw that. It was almost like like the Game Awards can't be real, and it was like a Wukong boss fight or something like that, and then it was like Balatro's like home screen essentially.
But see, I think then I saw a quote tweet like something like that or something, and it's like the biggest self-report that you've never played Balatro before. Because it's like everybody complaining that Balatro's on the list has not played Balatro.
oh,
If you had, you would
I
understand.
love it. I really do. Like, and what's crazy is I know all my normie friends who like are gambling degenerates would love it because like it's just like poker, like card, like it's just fun, man. Like, I think it's the best like deck builder game I've maybe ever have played, honestly.
High praise.
I haven't played many deck builders though.
I played just about everyone on the Sun.
Is it the
Big
best?
deck builder friend.
Is it your favorite? Like,
It's not my favorite.
no.
It's up there though.
but yeah,
I'd have to make a list. But like, I'd say probably top 3,
Okay.
which is hot. Like, and again, I
That's
played
high
nearly every
praise.
deck builder. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is
If it's
really
a deck
high praise.
builder, Mr. Fruit has played it. Well, it's
Dude,
one then.
Like you
Slay
kid,
the
but I go
Spire?
on Steam and
Or
click tag.
Runeterra? Like, what is your favorite deck builder?
See, that's a good question. I would have to sit down and think about it. I just gut reactions. I don't think it's Balatro, but yeah, I'd have to go through. And some of the problem too is that sometimes it's just like my mood,
Mhm.
like what I'm feeling. Because like for one time too, I freaking love this game and it got no attention and just like quiet released and then they never updated. I was so sad.
Battleborn.
There's actually who?
Paddleborn.
Oh man, come on, man. No, there's actually a Gwent deck like or roguelike deck builder.
Oh, I remember Era's talking about that.
And like they just quietly released it and freaking ate that up. And I was like, dude, I can't wait till they update it. Maybe some balance. I could see this and then just like, yeah, so we're just like not gonna do anything with it. I'm like, so I like did everything I could in that game. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd have to go through a list and look at him, and it was just like, how hopelessly addicted was I? Because like, playtime for me essentially is just like, I got 100 hours in this. That would have been in like a week. I was addicted. So like that
Yeah.
would probably be like my tier list of. See, I don't have an answer, but
Yeah.
Balatro is solid. That's for sure.
I mean, Balatro this year, I have 213 hours, which is a pretty
That's
good
crazy.
amount
Holy
of time.
crap!
It's a pretty good amount
That's
of time.
crazy.
I'm not even. Like, what do I have? Can you see what I have?
I can. Yeah, give me a second.
Steam's taking forever to pull up.
How do I see? Oh, view all friends who've played.
Oh, I got it. I'm only at
20,
20
you have 20
hours.
Yeah, I was like, you have 20 hours.
Rookie
Safe to
numbers.
say, I
compared
like
to
this
you.
one a lot more. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
you
I'm
will.
not joking you. I've done every challenge other than the last one. I've gold chipped the blue deck and the red deck. And then like I could gold chip the other ones because it's pretty easy, but like it just takes time to do the other ones. But I've really been doing like the challenges. And the last I'm on the last challenge, and it is so hard. You have to win a run with no jokers.
That seems impossible.
It's literally impossible. Like it is so hard. Like just to get a run going is impossible. Like it's so hard. I think the farthest I've got is to like ante 5.
Well, I will say, just like that, it's nice seeing like you find like these couple indie game like roguelike deck builders. Maybe not like most, but you find one and you're like, wait, yeah, this slaps.
Yeah.
It reminds me. By the time the video isn't live yet, I don't think. But I recorded yesterday with Rob a sponsored video for a Survivors game. It's called like Entropy Survivors, but it's a Survivor-like game. And they wanted me to like play. They're like, it's best played co-op. I was like, most of my friends don't like Survivor likes, but like Rob's usually just down for something. So I was like,
yeah,
I think you might enjoy it, so I'll ask. But I knew you'd only really played what, like the League Swarm?
The League one. Yeah, like the League one where you have like some sort of like different builds and stuff like that, but it's all
Very
pretty
basic.
surface level.
Yeah. So I remember Rob played that with us first, and he was like, "That was kind of boring." So I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, maybe." I guess he
Because the
just doesn't
game guide
like.
kind of plays it for you almost. It kind of felt like.
So I was like, "Oh, he probably won't like Survivor Life." But I was like, "Oh, I'll see if he likes this one." And then the best way I could put it is we were gonna swap to go record another video, and Rob's like, "Oh, we could just keep playing this." Like we
I didn't want to get off, yo. Like it was for it to be a sponsored one too. Like normally I'm like, get me the fuck off this. Like this was like not worth it. But this was so fun. Like it was actually really fun. I sat here today when I was watching Red Zone and playing League with my friends. I was like, fuck, I'd rather be playing the little frog dudes. But I was like, if I play that, then I'll leave Christian behind. Like,
Well, see, but I wouldn't blame you. But
no.
watching that though, now I'm like, okay. Now I can like curate a list and be like, because I played No Ever Survivor like on this time.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you like this, you might not like, you might only like one out of these 5, but you might find your next addiction. But
Yeah.
it's cool knowing because after League, I was just like, oh, the genre, he's just not gonna like. But you're just like me. Like even at the end of the game, you're getting rewards. You're like, oh yeah, just give me the rewards.
Oh yeah.
And
just
I'm the
slap
same
me
way.
with
It's
it.
just like monkey brain, like rewards, meta progression. Like the more, the merrier. Just give me something to chase over and over and over. So it's cool seeing that because I was like, okay, maybe there's some stuff you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
Sort of the same with Balatro for a lot of people who are like, ooh, indie games are like roguelike deck builders. And then they get it. And then suddenly they're like, wait, I kind of like this. What about? And then I've heard some people that was their pipeline to like Slay the Spire. And then they're like, wait, Slay the Spire is really fun. Or like any other game like that. Yeah, moral of the story is you never know. Don't judge a game by its cover. And usually, if everybody's saying a game's good, even people who typically like wouldn't say it, give it a shot and maybe you'd be surprised. It might be like okay, it didn't work out for me. But it'd be probably your best bet for something that typically wouldn't look appetizing for you.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. I guess the only thing we can talk about before Q&A is in a couple days, Marvel Rivals releases.
Uh,
New Marvel
and
Overwatch.
I haven't played any of it. Like,
Really?
yeah, I'll try it.
You dying to play day one?
Yeah, I'm down to play it. I'm down to try it.
Well, like Overwatch throwback.
Yeah, like I'll try it.
I played it, the beta, which was at this point like
a couple months ago. Now.
Yeah, like maybe 6 months ago or something. Surprisingly, like pretty well polished. And
it had like what, like 50K playing it or something. Like, was there peak?
Yeah, something like that. I think it's gonna do number. Well, one, they have the Marvel IP.
Yep.
2, it's launching with 33 characters. Which and characters are free to play because it's Nexon. So I was like, oh god, how are they gonna mess this up? But they said all current and future heroes are free. That's a big plus. And so it has the Marvel normie draw. There's like, this is I get to play as Spider-Man. I want to play as Spider-Man, and gets them into it. And then of course everyone's like, oh, it's OG Overwatch because it's 6v6. But yeah, felt surprisingly polished and fun. My main question is like longevity. We'll see like long term, how does the game hold? But so far, it seems like they're doing all the right things, which is why I'm still sitting here like this seems too good to be true. Because like again, it's published by Nexon. So I'm like,
then they have like
I
saw like
be something.
I saw an article and it was like some employees were charged with like money laundering or something like that.
I mean,
like,
unrelated to Marvel Rivals, but it's just because they're the publisher. I think that was like the title, like Marvel Rivals publisher Nexon was, and so it's just like, okay, when they also publish 8 bajillion other games, it's just Marvel Rivals right now is like the talk.
I see.
But yeah, there's some shady laundry, but like that's just the parent company, like that's separate from the game developers and everything.
Okay. So it's like Bungie, but that's like Activision is like the money laundering. Like, okay.
Yeah, that was what it would have done like. So I'm hoping it's fun. And I do think it'll just be good. Like when I was playing the beta, that's what I was enjoying was I was trying to not take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like
Just,
I wasn't playing like this is comp. I was playing like I'm here to like as if we were like when we were playing Overwatch Classic, where it's just like I'm just queuing up to have some fun. I'm not gonna
yeah.
take it too seriously. Like I'm playing a game of comp. I guess you'll know if I like the game that much that I actually start playing ranked. Um, but I do think it could be some fun with some of the buds if they end up checking out. But either way, I'm definitely gonna be checking out. I'm also hoping it does pretty well because currently that's the only thing I can think of content wise that the channel might really like for the foreseeable future. So hopefully report back in a week and be like, yeah, it's popping off. But yeah, and Blue, does Marvel Rivals pique your interest at all, or no?
Hell no.
Beyond the days of
I
the
do.
hero shooters.
I do want to try it because I've heard lots of really, really good things from a lot of my friends, but I'm just so burnt on hero shooters.
For sure.
I saw Overwatch Classic and I was like, oh damn, for real.
It was ass. That was so bad. It was fun to like go back, but then I was like, man, I don't remember Overwatch actually kind of being this bad, but it kind of was.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun, just like relive. I mean, for those people watching, like aside from the videos you saw, none of us played outside of that. We played that like 3 hours. It was fun. We're done.
Yeah.
Like we got what we wanted out of it, and like it was fun playing with everybody and reliving all that. And then it's like, okay, but yeah, like that, especially from like a balance standpoint and stuff. Like, this was kind of butts.
I was like, damn, I didn't remember I could just pick whoever we wanted and just have like 5 Winston and 1 Zen. Like, okay, well,
5 Winston versus 5.
You got it.
No, I can't say his name.
6 Winston, 6 McCassidy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. 6 Winston, 6 Cassidy.
I did make a joke in that video where I was like, it's McCree. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, this is 2016, man.
Yeah.
I'm in a time capsule. Like, I can't help it.
You can't tell me like anything else.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with McCree? What happened? So, lost train of thought. Oh, well, I should say, well, I was just because like Overwatch Clash was fun, but also we didn't play that and then go, let's hop on Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
We're just like, okay.
That was like the last thing I wanted to do.
Yeah. So, I'm hoping Marvel Rivals for me will be fun and fresh enough because I mean, aside from Deadlock, which is sort of like a hybrid hero shooter, I haven't touched hero shooters in a while. So maybe for me it'll be fresh enough to keep me engaged and interested. And as long as there's fun, silly stuff to do, because that's some of the silly stuff too I like. Which like some people are like, oh, the balance, but I'm like, whatever. We're like, if you have Groot and Rocket Raccoon on the same team, you have a synergy where you can just jump on Groot and then you're like 2 in the same and he can just shoot on and like you heal each other or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I think there's going to be a synergy where like Hulk, because they announced Wolverine, where Hulk can pick up Wolverine and just throw him into the team or something. Or like if you have like Wanda and Magneto, they you know, so I think there's interesting stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We got our first question here from Ish. So we're all the way in October still. So keep that in mind. It says, Fruit, how are we feeling about the Jags? And Rob, the Patriots, ... What do you think about them starting Drake May this week? Back then, I would have told you, let's sit the kid and let's have Jacoby Myers die, or Jacoby Brissett die before we ever decide to put Drake May in. But the kid has stepped up and played pretty well and played pretty decent. I just want the Patriots to lose, and thank God we lost today. So,
you're asking this question hours after Trevor Lawrence just got laid out, a terrible concussion from a dirty hit.
Yeah, and my favorite thing is the dude like hits a dirty hit, clearly dirty. He just like gets open.
Yeah, and he's like, "What? Like, what do you mean, bro?"
Literally decapitated him, bro.
Yeah, and also our season. I mean, what is Jover?
Yeah,
I mean, so that's what I'm thinking about the Jags.
Yeah, you got to look forward. I mean, Doug Pearson's getting fired for sure this offseason.
Yeah, we need some restructuring of some coaching. I still think Trevor could be that guy. I just don't think he's had the right chance yet.
Hey, Mac Jones, man. You know, Mac Jones could be the guy for you.
Yeah.
If he's back home.
I'm already in enough pain. Okay.
Johnny Apple said, seeing as how the podcast has been going strong for a few years now, how many of your family / friends know about it and do they listen?
I think
My
my
mom and Sydney listens.
oldest brother listens. Shout out Eric.
Yeah, shout out Sydney
Everybody
and
else.
Lisa.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else listens. Or if they have, they've never told me. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Blue?
My mom is like always stalking the podcast, so
what's
but
up?
other than that, I think it's
Hi,
just my
Blue's
mom.
mom.
Hi, my mom, and she's probably watching them even more now that I've left. So hi, mom.
Very says, all right, now that Rob has been playing Final Fantasy 14 and Blue has gotten me so goddamn addicted to it, if there's one person left, Fruit, is there even a slight chance you'll ever play Final Fantasy 14 ever?
No.
Okay. There it is.
Real.
It's okay. It's like just every MMO. I mean, so far.
And you fucked up.
Like
you fucked up by
what?
going to League, and you also fucked up by putting in your subathon that you have to get through Endwalker.
We'll go back. Well, we'll go back. Like it's just it's an MMO. I don't have to do it all like in a day.
So go.
No, it'll be done. I promise. Pop Kurt with the last question says, would you rather be able to read minds, but everyone's can read yours too, or have X-ray vision, but you become completely come on, someone help me with this word, imperceivable forever?
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
imperceivable means like you're basically like a fly on the wall. Like you don't.
Nobody would ever recognize or notice you or acknowledge you.
You're basically like a ghost walking through the real world.
Yeah, imagine you'd be like a gamma ray. We can't see gamma rays.
Okay. So it says like being like John Cena.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
That you get it.
I'm gonna be honest. I think both would drive me to commit seppuku at some point.
Yeah,
those would be both
suck.
terrible
I choose
lives.
neither. They suck.
There's either no privacy or only isolation. Like I don't want to read other people's minds, and I also don't want to be alone forever. So
yeah,
if I had to make a choice, I would choose the X-ray vision because I rather be not bothered than always bothered.
Okay, but then you're imperceivable to Sid.
Would never matter.
I guess. I mean, in this life, I would assume like that none of that. Like I'd never meet anybody. Like so. Like, but I guess I have X-ray vision, which I can make use of. You know.
I guess
like
the only one, if I had to choose, would be X-ray, simply because you could alter the course of science forever. Because if you stay completely imperceivable, you could start messing with stuff, and they would never be able to figure out. And seemingly, you would break laws of nature, and they would be like, "We have no answer for this," and that would be pretty fun.
You think that, and like I think like I just work at TSA and just be really good at my job, and save a lot of airplanes.
But you wouldn't be able to stop anybody. You wouldn't have any reasoning. Like nobody would know you're doing it.
Well, exactly. I'd be like, hey, that bag looks bad. Like, get out of here, Jerry. Like, we hate you. Who's this guy? And then like, oh, sorry.
No, but they can't hear you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they can't hear. You're imperceivable.
When nobody sees you, nobody knows you exist.
Imperceivable. You don't exist. You're a ghost.
Yeah, quite literally, you're essentially a ghost.
Yeah, now you're getting it. Now you're understanding. It's you would essentially be in isolation.
All for just having X-ray vision?
All for just having X-ray vision. All for just being able to see other people's dick, balls, tits, and vagina. Is that worth it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I go with X-ray vision.
No.
Now, see, if the mind reading thing was toggleable, I would do that.
Like, so like I turned it off so you can't read mine? Like,
yeah, cause I would probably never use it because one, like, I don't think people realize you don't want to read. Yeah, you don't want to read minds.
And
but
like
also then everybody
stupid little
in
thoughts
yours
to
as
myself.
well. Yeah. Like, nothing is ever private. Everybody knows everything. Like, I think it's just bad. I think it's bad either way.
Well, you know what wasn't bad was this episode of the GG Over Easy podcast. Thank you guys all for listening. Please make sure you guys leave reviews and likes and shit. I know we don't like read that stuff anymore, but still do it.
Comment
We will
about
see
your
you guys.
dreams.
Yeah, we will be reading those though. Do you dream in first or third person?
Find out next episode.